Hi everybody, it's Kelly with Homesteading Hints again, and today we're going to talk about harvesting of our onions. And I've already done a portion of our harvest. We don't do a huge amount of onions. We would, but ours don't keep overly well. We don't have a very cool spot for them, and our spot is also a little bit too humid. So we kind of end up with a lot of that we put in the freezer. So we end up just chopping a lot of onions up, and that's what we actually do with them, is put them in the freezer by chopping them into small bits and putting them in bags, and we lay the bags flat, and then when it comes time to use them on whatever we're going to use them for, we'll break off a chunk out of a baggie and use it for whatever we're going to use it. But you can actually dry them, which you would actually put these on to a wire mesh, just the same exact thing as garlic. And there's the cat, and same exact thing as garlic, where you just let them dry out and then go ahead and cut the tops off of them and store them in a cool, dark place. But again, we don't have the greatest luck with storage of them, so we usually just put them in the freezer. We have a patch over here, and I think there were probably about 50 of them. As you can see, the weeds get going, which again we've talked about before. The weeds don't concern me too much. I'll keep the weeds out of everything until my plants get going well, and then I usually don't get too concerned when it gets close to harvesting time. If things like, well, as you can see, lamb's quarter has been chewed on by a number of different bugs. If they're eating that, they're not eating my stuff, so I don't mind. Lamb's quarter is one thing that we have a lot of. Buttonweed, pigweed, all those things get chewed on pretty good by bugs, and if they're eating, again, those things, they're not eating my stuff. Now, they're usually a lot of times able to pull them up, and this one actually has two of them growing in on, able to pull them up by hand. A lot of times with the onions, different than the garlic. The garlic is set in a little bit deeper, but sometimes I'll have to pop underneath of them and pop them free, just like with the garlic. Pop them free underneath to get some of those roots loose. And
how do you know when they're ready?
They actually are ready when they're laying over like they are as well here. This one's kind of still probably could have waited a little bit longer. We didn't have I wouldn't say it's a great year on the onions. We had some decent ones, but this one's not bad, but some of them end up pretty small like this. It was a kind of a weird spring. I assume that's part of it. And that just kind of how it ends up, but they'll all cut up easily and be put in the freezer, so it's not a problem that way. But they're an easy crop. You plant them early spring, usually about end of March, beginning of April, somewhere in there. Maybe mid-April. If it stays pretty cold during part of that, you might want to wait a little bit. I usually put, as you can see, I put hay down around it and stuck them in that way, and so kind of keeps the weeds down that way, kind of keeps them separated from each other. And it does pretty well. The weeds are okay, but it's simple to harvest them that way. So if you have any questions, just give Ted Lare a call. Ask for me. Otherwise, until next time, thank you everybody, and we'll talk to you later.